essay?
The topic itself should be debatable. How it can be debatable? How can I evaluate if it's debatable or not when I have a counterclaim?
So
I'm
the
not-
counterclaim is the argument.
Yes, I'm not just listing what I want to say. It's not informative. No, I have an opinion, then there are other opinions, so I write the other opinions and I refute them.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome, dear. Welcome.
Miss,
Yes?
did you like read all the essays?
No, not yet. I will read them all. I just opened 2 yesterday. But I will tell them privately because one of them was plagiarized and the other one was not downloading. So I will tell them privately. Okay, guys, let's start with the writing or vocabulary. What do you prefer?
As you like, miss.
What you prefer? You can pick. Once a week, you can pick which to start, writing or vocabulary.
Writing.
Writing.
Okay, writing. So, bring your literature book. Get your literature book.
Is today's homework to write a narrative essay?
Not yet, not yet. No, not yet.
Oh. Because in the plan it's written right the first draft, I guess.
Just preparing, but no, not this week. You've just written the argumentative, so I don't want to give you homework now.
Okay.
I will open for you the PowerPoint and then share it. Okay, it's on page 100 in the book. We previous time we took till page. Previous time we finished page 101, right, girls? We have finished 101 and we finished 102. Hello, grade 10. Can you see my PowerPoint?
Yes.
لين عمار. لين عمار.
Yes, miss.
Yes, read يا لين the slideshow in front of you.
Generate ideas. In order to generate, miss السكرين مو ثابتة.
Like this.
Miss, it's glitching.
Glitching. So لين عياد, can you see it well? لين عياد. Lynn is not here. Buthaina.
Yes, miss.
Read Buthaina.
In the PowerPoint,
Yes.
in order to generate some details for your narrative, complete the following graph organized. You can make notes for more than one trip if you're still descending. This may help you decide which travel experience you would most like to write about. While you're thinking about your trip, also think back to the narrative you read in this unit. Which text from the unit remind you of your own experience? Where write them in the box labeled
Allusions. Girls, remember previous time when we talked about that all the chapter is about the art of traveling? And then I told you that he wants you here in the book to write about a trip that you've made. And what is more important, the trip or the destination? And if you'd like to write about the trip, and what will happen if you would like to write about the destination. And then I told you, but if you face problems because you haven't traveled anywhere, so I gave you the last slide of the presentation was topics to write about, topics in your narrative. And then I asked you, what would you prefer to write about when you trusted a friend and she misleaded you or cheated on you, when you love someone and it turns out to not to be a good idea. Right or not, girls, an experience in your life you're gonna never forget. You remember or not? Are you here, Greta?
Yes, miss.
Hello? Are you here? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Then the journey and the destination, we discussed it previous time. If you will write about the journey, huh? What will you talk about, Ya Butaina? If you will talk about the journey, what will you talk about? Asma Kraker?
Yes, miss.
Yes, Asma. If you will read about the write about the journey, what are you going to write about?
The setting.
Yeah, read from the PowerPoint, dear.
Okay.
First thing, the people.
People who went with you. Who did you meet along the way? Setting. What scenes did you see along the way? What details stand out in your memory? Events. Do you encounter any obstacle? Did you see an unexpected sights?
Yes, the dialogue.
Dialogue. What memorable things were said? Did you talk
No,
with
no.
with
In the
anyone?
journey, we are in the journey.
Okay. Miss. Okay. What conversations did you have along the way? Note especially try to recall any conversation that relate to the events of the trip itself. Thoughts
Yes.
and feelings. Was the trip exciting, fun, traveling, challenging? Did your journey teach you anything new about yourself or about your fellow travelers? Allusions. Did your experience remind you of any of the narratives you've read in this unit?
Yes, so this is if I will write about a journey I made. You can write about a journey if you travel to Hajj. So the trip from here, or Umrah, the trip from Riyadh to Jeddah, what happened through the trip? Who went with you, father, mother, sisters, or if you have brothers, if you are alone, or with a friends or a family or neighbors, the setting. Along the way, what did you see? The deserts, camels, sheep, villages. What details is memory? Maybe a specific village is stuck in your memory and you want to say how did it look like? Events. Did you encounter any obstacle? For example, did you want to go to the bathroom, but all the bathrooms were closed because of the COVID-19? Did you see unexpected sight? Did you see, for example, the sunset or the sunrise in the morning? The dialogue. What were the conversations along the way between you and your father? Okay. Thoughts and feeling. What were the feeling? Were you exciting? Were you was it fun or was it troubling that you couldn't sleep well for 11 hours? Did your journey teach you anything about yourself or about your fellow travelers? Did your experience reminds you of anything that you've read? Allusion is when something happens reminds you of something you've read or seen in a movie. This is if you write about the journey. What if I would write about the destination, teacher? Bilqis? 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 Okay. Lين Ammar read. Lين Ayad is here or not here yet?
Yes, miss.
Who's Lين who read? Which Lين?
Miss Lin Ammar, أنا.
Lين Ammar read. Lين Ayad, you came, Lين?
Yes.
Yes, read, Lين. What if I would write about the destination, Lين? People?
People who was waiting for you at your destination. Whom did you meet after you arrived? Setting. What details do you remember about the place? Events. What did you see and do at your destination?
Dialogue?
What memorable things were said? Do you talk with anyone new? Thoughts and feelings. Was the destination worth the trip? Did you learn anything new about yourself? Was the place what you expected it to be? Did your destination remind you of any place you have read about in this unit?
So if I would write about the destination, if I would write about when I reached there, when I reached Mecca. So who was waiting for us? No one was waiting for me. I just went to the hotel. Whom did you meet after you arrived there? Maybe you accidentally met your friend from school, from the club, from anywhere, you know, maybe accidentally, maybe in the Kaaba itself, you saw someone you know. The setting, how did the Kaaba look like? The people there, the atmosphere, the voice, what you heard, what you saw, what you felt, the events, what did you see and do at your destination? So the pilgrimage or the Umrah itself, how did you do it? You walked from Safa to Marwa, and after 7 rounds around the Kaaba, you start to make tawaf and this. And the destination, the dialogue, what memorable things were said. Maybe you heard some people sitting next to you. You know, there's one thing I like the most about when before COVID-19, when we were allowed to sit in the Kaaba. I love to sit and watch people from around the whole world. You see Filipinos, you see Egyptian, you see Turkish people, you see Asian people, you see all nationalities around you, and different clothes and different faces, different languages. This is one thing that I admire a lot, to sit in the Kaaba and watch everyone. And and there's once I heard a man and a wife, they say, Alhamdulillah, we did Umrah. They came a long way and they were sitting in front of Kaaba and crying that finally they saw the Kaaba. So those feelings that you can observe when you watch people, okay? Then the thoughts and feeling, the destination worth the trip. After you finish your Umrah, you feel like, oh, I'm relieved. Or no, yani, didn't deserve the 11 hours of traveling. Did you learn anything new about yourself, about your religion, anything? I'm just saying it to Hajj and Umrah because I know in Saudi Arabia we don't travel a lot. Maybe Jeddah, maybe if you travel to Jeddah or you travel to Dammam to your cousin and she took you and you went to this and you enjoyed the day there. Okay, maybe to Jeddah when you went to Kidzania, for example. Maybe where else? Maybe you went to Jubail or Abha and there are mountains. Maybe on your way to Mecca, you went to this road that it is full of monkeys, right?
Yes.
And what did you have previous periods, girls?
We had math, chemistry, and Islamic.
That's why. Math, chemistry, and then English, so you... I feel like someone eaten your tongues, girls. What will you do in the 6th and 7th periods? Alhamdulillah, I'm 4th and 5th. What will you do in the 6th and 7th? You'll definitely sleep. Right? I kept asking myself, if I am a student and I have online classes, I will turn on my mobile, sign into the class, and continue sleeping. And the teacher will help me, will hear me snoring, you know? My son does this. My voice is low, so he cannot hear me. My son does this, you know? Between the periods, I go to wake him up. That's why I have to take these 3 minutes between the periods. I have to go to wake him up and then come because he sleeps. He turns his computer on, he signs in, and then he sleeps. He's in grade 9. Illusion, did your destination remind you of any places you've read about this in unit or not? Okay, then we move to organizing ideas on page 103. Lujain, read the Lujain.
Miss, is it the same one in the book? Or
Yes,
should I read
you
from
can
the
read it from the
presentation?
book. No, you can read from the book.
Organize ideas. When writing a narrative focused on events, the events should fit together into an interesting story, with one event leading in some way to the next. While your story may or may not have a dramatic climax, as in the fictional short story, write the story should lead up to some kind of revelation about yourself. Depending on the kind of story you're telling, this could be something surprising, moving, or funny, or it could be something you learned about yourself or your surroundings from your new experiences. Fill in the following diagram to help you decide what events you might include in your narrative. Add more events as needed.
Yes, so what are we going to write? We will write the event, what happened, and how you responded or felt. As I told you exactly now, the event is we are preparing our bags to travel to Spain. Let's dream. Okay, what happened? So you will tell, huh? I was wondering which cloth to take and whether the weather. Look, whether the weather is cold or not there, and which kind of cloth to take, heavy cloth or light cloth. And that's it. How you responded or felt. We were feeling so excited about going to Spain. Event that when you went to the airport and you had the plane, what happened, the plane took too many hours, but you took your book, you read in the book and this, and you started to feel tired, okay, because you haven't slept for 2 days. Then you reach Spain and then you start telling us what have you seen and this, how it affects you. So this is page 103 and page 104. Then we go to our first draft on page 105, first draft. Okay, Jumana, are you here, Jumana? Lana Meher?
Yes, miss.
Yes, Jumana, read يا Jumana.
I can't see the screen, miss.
You can read from the book. Is it because it's white, girls? Shall I make it black?
No, I can't see the presentation. Oh,
You can see the presentation itself?
yes.
All of you or only Jumana, girls?
No, miss, I can see the.
So please, Jumana, read حبيبتي from the book.
Which page?
105.
First draft. Use your outline to write a draft of your narrative. Here are some hints. Refer to your brainstorming chart on pages 103 and 104.
Yes, so I will go there and try to get out all the events and try to arrange them.
Write quickly. You will revise and proofread later. Write on every other line or double space if working on a computer. This will make it easier for the classmates to write revision on your paper. If you take a break and then return to drafting, reread what you have written before continuing. This will help you resume the flow of thoughts.
The flow of thoughts, yes, this will help you resume. Resume is to replay the flow of thoughts, to think of what am I going to write. And you write this paper, draft 1, first draft that you write, but this is your not final draft. Okay, thank you, حبيبتي. Lana?
Yes, miss.
Lana, in
Yes,
order to,
miss.
yes, Lana, after you finish your first draft, you give it to your friend to review it for you. Review it for you, to look at it for you. So read, select steps for peer review.
Miss, should I read?
Yes, dear, read.
Okay, 1 minute. Please. Steps for peer review. 1. Select a timekeeper. Each writer gets 15 minutes. Stick to the time. 2. One person begins by reading aloud his or her first paragraph. The other members listen actively. 3. Pause. The same writer reads the first paragraph aloud a second time. 4. Writer asks, does the beginning of my narrative make you want to know more? Each member responds as the writer takes notes on his or her draft. 5.
Yes, does the beginning of my narrative makes you want to know more? Do it make you want to know more? You have to start with a very interesting opening, so you guarantee that the reader will continue reading.
Complete?
Yes.
5. Writer reads the entire story, pauses, and then reads it again. 6. As writer reads, member take notes. 7. Writer asks, what questions do you have about my experience? What else do you need to know about it? Writer replies. Repeat steps 1 to 6 for each writer.
Yes, for each one. Okay, thank you, Lana. Balqis? Bilqis?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Bilqis, read you, Bilqis. Second peer review.
Self-revision.
Yes.
Second peer review. Self-revision. Rush.
Yes, recognition review. Recognition review.
Recognition review. Recognition is a systematic approach to revision. It will help you break down your writing in order to improve the variety of your words and sentences.
So you have to do what, girls? To see, I used many simple sentences, so no, I have to differentiate. I used many compound sentences, no, I have to make one simple, one compound, one complex, differentiate the sentences.
The following steps will instruct you to mark your paper and then make specific revisions.
Step 1.
Step 1. With a green colored pencil, bracket the first word of each sentence. Make a list of each word on a separate sheet of paper. Identify your parts of speech.
So the beginning of each sentence, girls, I have an essay. I look at, this is my essay. I will circle the first word of each sentence, and then I will list them down on a separate paper and say it's a noun, it's an adjective. So you will find all your sentences starts with what, and, oh, conjunctions. Yes.
Can I go al-hammam?
Bathroom. Yes, go. So then you'll be asked to differentiate. Continue, Bilqis.
Evaluate are a variety of words used. Which words appear most? Action. Reduce the number of identical first words by half. Try starting sentences with descriptive phrases or clauses. Use a variety of different parts of speech.
Yes, so now after I circle all the words, I will look I will find yourself that you've started all the sentences or 90% of the sentences with the same word. So no, eliminate it and try to switch or alternate or change it with other words to start your sentence. A phrase, a clause, descriptive. Okay, descriptive phrases or clauses to enrich your writing. Number 2, thank you, Bilqis. Bayan, are you here? I haven't heard your voice since a long time, Bayan. Natalie?
Yes, miss.
Yes.
The book or the slide?
Anything, they are the same. Step 2.
Step 2. Underline each sentence in the paper with alternative blue and orange color pencils. Sentence 1, orange. Sentence 2, blue. Sentence 3, orange. Evaluate. Does the sentence length vary? Are most sentences the same length? Are any too long and wordy? Action. Add variety by combining short sentences. Strive for a balance of long and short sentences.
So girls, number 1, I will see the beginning of each sentence and differentiate the beginning of each sentence. Number 2, I will look at the sentence's length. Simple, compound, or compound complex, and I try to, I will find that all the sentences are simple. Try to combine them together and make it independent. One independent compound sentence, or one big complex sentence, independent make complex sentence, or complex compound, or compound complex. Differentiate the sentences, vary your sentences, and vary the beginning of your sentences. Number 3, the second peer review, the step 3. Okay, step 3. Thank you, Natalie. Malak Wasim?
Yes, miss.
Read,
Step
Malak.
3. Circle all the being verbs with red pencil. Use this list to help you. Am, is, was, were, be, being, being. Do I read the ones after too? Evaluate.
Yes. Yes.
Evaluate. Do I overuse being verbs? Can I substitute any action verbs for being verbs? Action. Reduce the number of being verbs by half.
We have like action verbs and we have linking verbs. Reduce the number of linking verbs, girls. Don't use linking verbs a lot. It's a narrative and you are allowed to mention yourself. I am, he is, we were. Okay, because it's a narrative, it's the only kind of essays that you are allowed to mention yourselves and your feelings and your thoughts and everything about yourself. So this is, but reduce them linking verbs. Try to enrich your vocabulary, your essay more by action words, action verbs. Okay, so then step 4. Thank you, Malak. We
You're
go
welcome,
to Jana. Jana. Step 4, ya Jana.
Yes, miss.
Yes, Jana.
Choose a black pencil and draw a box around dead words. Refer to the following list of overused words in the coffin on the next page.
Yes, dead words. And he says to you, refer to the following list of overused words in a coffin. Because they are dead, so they are in coffin. Right? Continue.
Yes.
Evaluate. Can I place dead words with more specific ones? Use a thesaurus to find more interesting substitutes.
Thesaurus is in a dictionary. Thesaurus.
Action. Reduce the number of dead words by half. A lot.
Okay,
Also,
when you see these deadlocks, dead words, you'll find that you write them 10 times in your essay. Read them, Yajana.
a lot. Also awesome. Awful, bad, big, cool, fun, got, get, good, great, have to, like, nice, pretty, really, so, very, want.
I don't want them in the writing challenge, right? It's a challenge because no writing, in one writing you'll find all of these dead words. Right?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Jana. Rama? Rama, are you? Yes, Rama. Read your Rama, step 5.
Okay. Step 5. Put a brown triangle around every use of it. Evaluate. Is it referring to a noun in the sentence? Action. If it is not referring to a specific noun, reword the sentence using specific words or phrases. For example, change it seemed scary to I was scared.
Yes. If you find words with new usage, try to restate the sentence. Okay? You don't use it a lot. Use of it. Here is it. Do you see it? So, for example, if you write change it seemed scary, so just say was scared. Instead of saying it was scary, say I was scared. Again. And instead of using it was fun, no. You change it to what? I had enjoyed my time. Look at the difference. It was fun. I had enjoyed my time. It was scary. I was terrified. It was too difficult to solve. I was puzzled or confused to solve. You understand, girls? So what are the 5 steps in order to check the beginning of the sentences? You have to vary the beginning of each sentence and try to use descriptive phrases and clauses. Number 2, the sentences length, simple, compound, complex. Number 3, the linking verbs. Reduce the number of linking verbs. Number 4, you don't use dead words or vague words. Leave them in the coffin. Awful, bad, big, cool, fun, good day. We went to the fun fair. Since I ever started to teach English, all the narrative essays, we went to the fun fair. And then the last thing is to put a brown triangle around every use of it and transfer the sentence. Okay, this is step 5. Then we go to the final. We still have time, right, girls? Yes, we have time. This is the final peer review. Yeah, no, before we move to the final peer review, we have, oh yes, final peer review. Who didn't read today? Ghada. Read ya Ghada.
Yes, Miss. Your narrative should clearly communicate a personal response to a journey or trip, including engaging dialogue, descriptions, and well-developed characters. Be organized logically and include good transitions. Tell a story with a beginning, middle, and end. Allude to one of the text from Unit 1.
What is allude to one of the text? Try to remember, is it related to any of the stories that we took in Unit 1 or not?
Have a clear and interesting writing style by including a variety of sentence types. Use correct grammar, usage, punctuation, and spelling.
You have to revise the grammar, the usage, and the punctuation and spelling. Okay, to receive the highest score, the narrative must meet all of these criteria that we've listed now. A personal response, organized logically, beginning, middle, and end, a solution, because narrative is a short story, girls. It is a short story, but written on about yourself. It is a story that happened to you. A short story that happened to you. Grade 10.
Yes.
There is something wrong with you today, I'm
Yes.
sure. Maybe it's Thursday or what? What's happening with you? Silent. All I need is silence. You understand what we said, guys, or not?
Yes.
Miss,
Yes.
do you have a homework writing a narrative essay?
Yes, dear?
Do you have a homework for writing a narrative essay
No,
today?
no, not today. Next week, inshallah, you start your first draft.
Okay.
Because I want I wrote it because I thought that everyone will deliver me the argumentative essay, but not everyone that gave me the argumentative essay. What is the deadline today for the argumentative, girls?
I have no
Yes,
idea.
today.
So
You said
let's
it was
see,
today,
girls.
but I'm not sure when the assignment ends.
Let's see. Let's give a look. Here is it. Here is it. Grade 10.
Miss, you can
Let's
just
see.
see your presentation.
Yes, I will see the names of those who gave me yesterday. I saw it was, yes, the final draft, 65% girls. So still 35% of the girls haven't uploaded yet. The deadline is it's not shown. How come? It should be shown. I cannot see it, girls.
Any
I'm
miss?
not sure. About the writing assignment.
I remember that it was on 11:35 today.
Today, so
11:35.
I only have 60 girls. 60% of the girls, not 60 girls, 60% of the girls. And girls, I told you that it is, the mark will be shown in the report. So those who hasn't sent me,
Miss, is it like a test? A mark of a test?
yes, because you'll not take test.
Oh, but miss, if we have like some mistakes.
No, it's okay. No, it's okay. I will check it and resend it to you. It's okay. Yani, I will not minus you for the mistakes. But if you take a copy of the internet and you just, it is a plagiarism, you will be minused. And again, why?
Yes.
Because we don't have a writing test this week. Yes.
Miss, if I like searched on the internet and gathered out
Search
like,
is okay. Search is okay.
like some
You can
sentences,
search.
is it fine?
No, it's
Like,
fine.
yes,
Because because I take the writing and I put it on a site, and then site tells me this is plagiarized from which site of the internet. When When I do this, I go and search. It was like one sentence, two sentences, but the whole essay.
No, it's like, Miss,
I
because
understand.
my essay was scientific,
Yes.
so I wanted to
Of
gather
course.
up some.
Of course, this is what you are asked to gather information from the internet resources.
So I read some
Me, I
essays
took
about
some.
it and took some sentences. Is it
It's
fine?
okay. Yes, it's fine.
Me, Miss, I took some like definition.
It's
a
okay.
word
You
or
have
something.
to, actually. If you don't do this, it will be wrong.
Miss, wasn't it a homework?
Yes, it was a homework for a week.
I submitted, but I mean, why is it a test?
It's not a test, it's evaluation. Because I cannot test you in writing now online. So it is, I evaluate you. So your mark will be included. Okay, for example, we replaced the project marks with attendance. Attendance had more marks. It has the attendance and the project marks. That's why I care a lot about attendance.
Okay, Miss, thank you.
Go, and we'll meet you in 4 minutes, 11:25, right or not? Or we leave it to 11:25?
Yes.
Yes, we're right.
11:25.
Bye.
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 Bye, Miss.
I'm
Bye.